One of the greatest chess players ever said that pawns are the soul of chess. They alone create attack and defense. The way they're deployed decides the fate of the game. Let me boost your pawn play so that you would make far better decisions with your own pawns in the opening and middle game. Before I explain you the concept, I would like you to take a good look at the position in front of you. The question that I have for you is f4 a good move here, or is it a bad move? Most of my new students would play f4 in such position without too much thinking. The concept that I'm going to teach you sounds like this. It's good to exchange the pawns in the center if you can safely replace them with pieces. In other words, if black could in this position replace their e5 and c5 pawns with pieces and those pieces would stay there, it's absolutely a desirable thing for them. So why this so natural move, f4, this move has been made by quite a few masters online, is so bad for white in this position? Well, once we play it, black will be able to win control over e5 square and install a piece there. A typical game would follow e takes f4, bishop takes f4. Now we are fighting for the control of the square. If black wouldn't be able to place a knight there and maintain it, in other words, once white takes, if black would be forced to take with the pawn, that's good for white, because none of black's pieces would have gotten active, and plus, white will be having a protected pass pawn on d5. However, in this position, black has the move knight to h5. We're deflecting the bishop from this diagonal, we cannot give up such bishop for the knight, and after white goes, for example, to e3, black is occupying the central square with the knight. The knight is absolutely probably the best piece on the board from here, aiming at d3. Together with the knight on h5, the bishop's looking into that direction. That has potential for a successful kingside attack as well. And so not only we humans like the black's pieces here more than white, but also the almighty engine is giving around -1 score for black, which means that black is around a pawn up in advantage. Let's move to another two exercises where you could try implementing the same concept. In this position, I have a question for you. Is taking away from the center and capturing on c5 an okay idea for white, or it's just not what white wants in these structures? Well, here the answer is a bit more tricky, because it's possible to take on c5, but I'm sure it's possible to continue the game while leaving the pawn be on d4. However, taking on c5 is one of the main ways we're going to play this position. It's not important to take right now. White could also be making a couple of waiting moves. But if we follow the same concept, then taking on c5 is a good idea, because white can later replace the d4 pawn and occupy that square safely with a piece. For example, we could take on c5, black would take, white plays knight to b3, and now we can occupy the d4 square, and we will maintain a piece on that square. We have many pieces that are substitutes and are able to capture back. So white benefits greatly more by having a piece on such a wonderful square rather than a pawn. Let's move to the third example. Here it is white to play, and the question that I have for you is taking on f4 for the white pieces a good idea or not? Here it is not a good idea for white, even though a very famous player has played g takes f4. The problem with that is that once again black will be able to win the control of e5 square and install a piece there. For example, white for now could be fighting for that square with knight to f3, and if black was unable to establish a piece and maintain it there, or capture back with d takes e5, which would help black's space advantage on the king side, as it would solidify the pawn structure there, this would be actually a great game for white. However, in this case, black has knight to g6, additional guard of the e5 square is being brought. For example, rook to e1, and black could choose between two plans. One would be queen to e7, and with the next move we're simply gonna play knight e5. We have enough pieces that control it, so that we would be able to continuously capture with pieces if that's what we want. Or in this case, we could even play knight e5 right away. And this would be kind of exception in a way, because even taking with the pawns here, or rather a pawn, is giving black a good game. We're solidifying the space advantage on the king side, which guarantees us kingside attack chances. Queen can move to h4, rook could be lifted. And another detail that is important is that black is playing with good bishop against bad bishop because of how pawns are fixed in the center. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please subscribe to my chess channel. Consider hiring me as your personal online chess coach. My contacts are on the right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.